ABC News 4 at 11 starts now.
New information regarding a house fire in North Charleston puts an even darker twist on the homeowner's death. Good evening, everyone. I'm Salina Madrid. Just now, we received word that 2 men have been arrested in relation to this crime. We are still waiting for more information on the 2 suspects. Today, our Eleanor Wade spoke with those who live close to the victims in that charred home. She has more on this developing story. Eleanor?
Salina, this man's death would have already been devastating to those who knew him, but what police found when investigating makes it all the more hard to swallow. A quiet community in North Charleston is now the scene of a crime. Police say a man was found inside this house last Thursday after it caught fire. The victim was 55-year-old Freeman Angelo Rivers. Thinking that the fire took this man's life, neighbors were stunned to find the true cause of his death.
A sweet, loving guy would help anybody.
Lisa Doctor lives just a few doors away from where flames consumed Rivers' home.
Speculation was going around that he was murdered, but we didn't believe it. Now to hear that it could be true, that's heartbreaking.
Neighbors say he was a gentleman who kept to himself, rode his bike around the neighborhood, but tragically, he passed away in this house fire just a few days ago. Police are now investigating this house fire as a homicide. Donna Johnson says nothing had been unusual in the neighborhood prior to Rivers' death. In her eyes, Bailey Drive has always been quiet and safe.
I've been living here now going on 10 years, and I haven't had any problem. The neighbors are nice, we know one another,
As police look for clues into the senseless death of the man who lived here, neighbors like Lisa Doctor grieve his loss.
Just heartbreaking, man. I just want to cry right now to know somebody actually took his life.
We will be updating the story as we learn more about the 2 men arrested. Salina?
New tonight in Mount Pleasant, the health department tests the water for pesticides in Park West, Dunes West, and Rivertown. It comes after 11 children from the area were diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer. The water was last tested in 2014 and again in 2016. Both results showed negative for pesticides. Mount Pleasant Waterworks officials say there is nothing to worry about. DHEC says it put more money into the testing to speed up the results. We're told results should come back in about 5 business days. A day in the life of a diabetic isn't an easy one. This is a disease that can't be prevented and doesn't have a cure. But one 13-year-old from the Low Country is heading to Capitol Hill in hopes to share her story to bring change back to South Carolina. 6 years ago, Cameron Shepard's life changed forever. It was the day she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
You have to constantly watch your sugars because my body doesn't produce insulin.
Her mom says she doesn't know life without it, and it's become second nature.
There's not a minute off from the disease at all.
She takes her insulin with her wherever she goes and is constantly checking her blood sugar.
Insulin is not a choice. It's strictly life support.
But she doesn't let the disease stop her. She is an honor roll student and on the varsity tennis team.
I've done so many things and I still have the disease, and they can do just as many things as they want to do. You just got to put your mind to it.
Now, all she wants is for others to educate themselves.
It's 3:37 right now.
Every 2 years, 150 kids living with the disease are chosen to represent their state in Washington, D.C. Her mom found out about the program and convinced her to apply. She didn't get in the first or the second time, but for Cameron, the third time's a charm because she was finally selected.
I talked about how diabetes has changed me and how it affects my day-to-day life, so he knows that it's not just something that you don't get affected by that much, and we actually need support and funding.
Senators, governors, and Congress members will be in the room listening to the kids' statements.
Her big thing is definitely awareness, but also asking for funding because there are so many improvements out there.
Insulin and prescriptions can be expensive, and they don't want anyone to ever go without.
Strips, urine sticks, glucagon.
It's a lifeline. I don't see how people can't help people cover it because you need it to live.
They want people to know what life with type 1 diabetes is like and to have a voice for others that don't.
Yeah, I definitely like going and talking about it and sharing my story and giving hope to all the other diabetics.
The Children's Congress will take place on July 24th through the 26th.
You would put in her pump.
Meanwhile, another teen named Mary Ashley has already had 1 kidney transplant. She's in need of more, but this time it's much harder to find a match. Renal disease took a toll on the 14-year-old. She's been going through dialysis for 4 years, but her parents say dialysis isn't a long-term solution. Her best chance is to find a living donor. So far, 170 people have been tested, but none have matched Mary Ashley.
We are struggling to find that kidney. She's a very hard match. She's a difficult match because of the antibodies she's built up when she was sick and transplanted as an infant. And so we're looking at a needle in a haystack.
Right now, Charlene says 40 people are waiting to be tested. They're hoping more people will sign up for the simple blood test. Now let's go ahead and take a live look at the Ravenel Bridge. We've seen some sunshine here and there today, but the rain's not gone for good. Chief Meteorologist Dave Williams joins us now. Dave?
Yeah, there's a couple towers starting to build up out there. Summertime in the low country, that means some thunderstorms. And here you are on Edisto Beach. Everything's fine there, but off in the distance up in Charleston, there's a thunderstorm going on right this minute. And that's at the airport as well. 90 degrees, couple lightning strikes. So you're fine on the beach down in Edisto, but if you're closer to Charleston, Folly Beach, Sullivan's, Isle of Palms, might not want to be on the beach right now because look at these lightning strikes that we're seeing. And we are getting some pop-up thunderstorms this afternoon. Most of the lightning pushing a little bit farther inland, but there's still the possibility to see some lightning on the beaches. Heaviest rain south of Charleston, headed over toward James Island and Johns Island. Another thunderstorm back here along I-95, some heavy rain around Yemassee and some lightning strikes there. Remember, when thunder roars, move indoors so that you're safe and you're not going to be struck by lightning. As far as your forecast for tonight shapes up like this, we're going to be looking at those temperatures falling back through the 80s by 9 p.m. right at 80. A leftover shower, and we could still see a shower at 11 p.m. And then through the overnight hours, things should quiet down. But tomorrow, another round of rain is headed our way. You'll see that in the 7-day forecast. We'll get a peek at that coming up in just a few minutes. Salina.
New tonight in national news. The driver of a tractor trailer in San Antonio is facing criminal charges. This comes after police found his truck filled with undocumented immigrants. On Sunday, officials discovered at least 10 people dead and dozens injured. Authorities were notified after a man who was in the truck asked a Walmart employee for water. They were locked in the back of an 18-wheeler truck in the 100-degree Texas weather. Now they're investigating the case as human trafficking.
There were a number of vehicles that came in and picked up a lot of the folks that were in that trailer that survived the trip.
Police arrested the driver of the truck, 60-year-old James Matthew Bradley Jr. Prosecutors are filing a criminal complaint against him in federal court. Officials are searching for others who may be involved. 2 British business owners are closing up shop here in the U.S. Will and Sue Whitlock have owned multiple businesses in Utah for almost 3 years. The couple and their 2 kids came to the U.S. on an E-2 visa, but the E-2 visa doesn't give them a chance to become citizens or have permanent residency. Now the family has only days before they need to leave.
We've received a lot of criticism from the public,
well, some people,
saying that we're being deported and we've done things we shouldn't have done. We have done absolutely nothing wrong.
The Whitlocks are asking for a reform on a system they call flawed. They hope other immigrant business owners won't have to go through what they did. In other international headlines, right now, the battle to save a critically ill British boy is coming to an end. Parents of 11-month-old Charlie Gard are preparing to say their final goodbyes. They've dropped their legal bid to bring him to the U.S. for experimental treatment. Britain's High Court was expected to review the medical evidence today, but Charlie's parents say time is running out for him. He suffers from a rare genetic condition and brain damage. His parents announced they're taking Charlie off life support today, calling him a warrior. Over in Italy, the city of Rome experiencing an extreme drought, and the lake that supplies the city with water is running out. The Italian government has banned people from pumping water from the lake. Water systems are scheduled to be shut down in order to preserve the remaining water supply. The plan is ensured to protect hospitals, firefighters, and other sensitive activities. Fishermen in Spain are all aboard a solution to sea pollution. More than 2,000 Spanish fishermen are working with a clothing company called EcoAlf. They're turning plastic found at sea into fabric. The plastic is broken down into pallets, which can eventually be spun into thread. EcoAlf's founder says pollution in the water is something everyone should be concerned with.
It's a huge problem. And it's not a problem of Spain or of Thailand. I mean, it's the same problem in Mexico, in Colombia, in Hawaii. So this is a worldwide problem.
EcoAlf has transformed about 30 million used bottles into clothes. Globally, an estimate of 12.7 million metric tons of plastic enters the ocean a year. Apple is making a call to its customers, and it's a call you might want to answer. What you need to know about a threat that could affect your iPhones. Plus, a new Princess Diana documentary in the works. What we know so far about the new film, keep it here. New this hour, New Jersey becomes the 4th state to raise the smoking age. Governor Chris Christie signed a bill Friday, raising the minimum age to buy tobacco from 19 to 21. The governor says the law will give people more time to understand the risks of smoking. It would also be easier on the New Jersey's health system. Other states have raised that smoking age in Hawaii, California, and New York. Apple has a warning for its iPhone users after a serious hacking threat. iOS devices and Mac computers are now under critical security patches. BroadPon is a virus that could potentially hack your phone via Wi-Fi. If you have an Apple device, you'll need to install the newest iOS update. The virus also had potential of hacking Android devices, but Google issued its own security patch earlier this month. In your health alert tonight, health department officials in Texas are cracking down on a string of cases involving a parasite found in produce. In the last couple of months, there's been almost 20 reports of a produce parasite in Houston. It's called Cyclospora, which can be found in food and water. The parasite can cause symptoms like diarrhea, bloating, cramping, and fatigue. Officials say they still don't know where the parasite came from.
So we would go and talk to people, find out where they ate, where they bought their food. That way, this information can go statewide and we'll be able to track the source.
Past outbreaks have been linked to fresh produce like cilantro, lettuce, and berries. Health department officials say consumers should stick to stores and restaurants that they trust. You might want to think twice before buying papayas today. The Food and Drug Administration advises consumers to not eat the Caribena brand of Meridol papayas. They may be the cause of a salmonella outbreak in 12 states. At least 47 people have gotten sick and 1 person has even died. The FDA says you should throw out these papayas if you have them in your home. Officials are investigating if other brands are linked to an outbreak.
ABC News 4 First Warning Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Williams.
Thunderstorms have been rumbling through the low country this afternoon, and more rain is possible. We've got a front that's stalled nearby. That'll keep us a little soggy at times for the next few days. At least the temperatures will stay pretty close to average, and right now things are nice and quiet in the tropics. One thing that's not quiet, our mosquito measure. With all the rain we've seen recently, those little critters are starting to lay some eggs out there, and we're starting to get more skeeters. 8. That's where our mosquito measure is for today, so wear that bug spray if you're headed out later today. A look at your forecast headed toward the weekend, and temperatures will be a little below average. Higher rain chances on Saturday. A front may clear the coast on Sunday, drying us out a bit, maybe even knocking back the humidity a little bit, but we will still see some rain chances from time to time. Saturday, though, looking like the wetter of the 2 days. As far as our temperatures right now, 85 in Charleston where there's been some rain. Everybody else sitting in the lower 90s. The heat and the humidity do continue. Across the state of South Carolina, we've got 90s everywhere except Charleston, where it is still 85 degrees. There are those showers and thunderstorms, a couple of those rumbling right around the Charleston metro, and then a little bit more rain as you head back toward Yemassee and Hendersonville. There's that rain. It was a little bit stronger earlier, but it has dissipated a bit. Little piece of that thunderstorm moving back toward Ladson and Somerville, and we'll continue to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening before things quiet down overnight. Little disturbance here moving through South Georgia, little disturbance there moving through southern Mississippi. Both of those should stay off to our south, but a little of the moisture ahead of this first little disturbance could give us some rain later this evening on into tonight. Futurecast will show us that 4 o'clock. Here we are with that rain spotty throughout the area. As we wind forward in time, 11 o'clock this evening, looks like our rain should shut off. And then as we go into the day tomorrow, quiet start to the morning, but headed into the afternoon, I think 11 o'clock we're still okay, but there they are. Some showers and thunderstorms, especially tomorrow afternoon and lingering into the evening. Could be a little bit soggy at times on Wednesday. So tonight your rain chances mainly before midnight, otherwise partly cloudy and steamy. Then as we go into your Wednesday, middle of the work week brings us plenty of clouds, a little bit of sunshine, and that good chance for rain with high temperatures staying below average. Your 7-day forecast looks like this. We will heat things up a little bit more on Thursday and especially Friday as those rain chances drop. But as I showed you a little bit earlier, looks like Saturday is going to be another wet day, showers and thunderstorms. Cold front tries to come through, maybe a little bit lower humidity Sunday into Monday, but then those rain chances ramp right back up on Tuesday. Salina.
Tonight in entertainment, 3 years to go until Japan hosts the 2020 Summer Olympics. Japanese celebrities and Olympians attended a kickoff event in Tokyo. They participated in activities like modeling new clothes with the 2020 Games logos. The event ended with the debut of the new theme song for the Games. The Summer Olympics and Paralympics are scheduled for July 24th, 2020. That was Michael Phelps swimming his way to silver medal against his toughest opponent. The Olympic swimmer raced against a great white shark to kick off Shark Week. Phelps lost to the shark by 2 seconds in a 100-meter race. Fans weren't happy when they learned that he swam against a shark made by Discovery Channel staffers. But Phelps didn't let it bother him, tweeting, quote, "Rematch next time, warmer water." The world is getting a small glimpse of Princess Diana's love for her sons. Kensington on Palace released never-before-seen photos of Prince William and Prince Harry from Diana's personal album. They're only 12 and 15 years old when their mother died in a car crash. The pictures are featured in a new documentary for the princess's 20th anniversary of her passing. In the film, William and Harry share their favorite memories of their mother. The documentary will air tonight at 10 on HBO. Meanwhile, fans lined up in Washington, D.C. for rapper Kendrick Lamar's pop-up shop. The Grammy winner announced the shop's opening earlier this month. It was only open for 1 day. Fans formed a line that stretched from at least 2 blocks. They couldn't wait to get their hands on the artist's gear and albums.
I got here at 5:15 in the morning, and I love Kendrick. I mean, I'm excited for the clothes, but I'm more excited to maybe meet him.
Lamar is planning to open 1 more pop-up shop in 17 different locations in the U.S. and Canada. It's all to promote his new album and upcoming tour. And coming up, it's a sound every kid loves to hear on a summer day. Why police officers are cruising around in a brand new ride. And we've got full coverage of the Chad Holbrook introduction down at the College of Charleston. Olivia Garrison is next in sports.
The search is finally over. Good evening. I'm Olivia Garrison. Thanks for joining us tonight. The College of Charleston, the center of attention this week. A whirlwind search for a head baseball coach finally coming to an end.
It took time, but the knot is tied. A familiar face to the Palmetto State, now the new face of the Cougar baseball program.
You know, at the end of the day, I always felt like I had the opportunity to be the coach here. There was a lot of things that were printed that maybe said I was out, but you know, I always felt like with my communications with these great people that I had a chance to be the coach here.
The hiring process not exactly standard. Holbrook accepting the job only to be told he was put on hold. A group of former players pushing for former Cougar assistant and current NC State pitching coach Scott Foxhall.
I'm sure that there's going to be some conversations, and I'm going to talk to each player individually, and I know that there's things that have to be mended. But at the same point in time, you know, it's baseball, it's college. Kids are supposed to smile and have fun and enjoy themselves.
Holbrook hired by an old friend, the C of C athletic director Matt Roberts. The two former Tar Heels are close, but Roberts says their relationship was not what landed the former Gamecocks head coach in Charleston.
All you have to do is look at his resume. You know how ESPN does the whole blind resume thing when it comes to March Madness, right? Put Chad's resume up with any of the other multitude of candidates that applied for this job, And I think each one of you would come to the same conclusion that our search committee and president did, that Chad's the obvious choice.
But this hire's not just about baseball. Holbrook is eager to be involved in the Low Country community, continuing his passion, fighting pediatric cancer. His son Reese, a childhood cancer survivor.
Because of Reese and his situation and what he went through, I saw some things that were unfair. It's my passion to raise as much money and awareness as I can for kids that are fighting cancer and the wonderful facilities that treat those kids, and that's going to continue to the day I die.
Putting up a fight on the field and for those children in need, George Street is exactly where Chad Holbrook wants to be.
We want to call Charleston home for a long, long, long time, and nothing would make me happier than for me to be able to finish my career here as the head baseball coach at the College of Charleston.
Switching to college football, Ole Miss football commits starting to question their athletic future after Hugh Freeze's resignation. 2019 prospect Bobby Wolf, the first to announce his decommitment. Hugh Freeze resigned Thursday. He would have been fired if he didn't step down. Freeze used his university-issued cell phone to call an escort service. The university first believed it to be a misdial, only to look deeper, finding a pattern of misconduct in his personal life.
While Coach Freeze served our university well in many regards during his tenure, we simply cannot accept the conduct in his personal life that we have discovered.
Assistant Matt Luke is now the interim head coach for the season. Certainly not the way Ole Miss wants to make it on Sports 4 tonight. To a former Gamecock and Goose Creek native, Justin Smoke just a week after the All-Star game, still firing away. Last night, the 5th inning, hitting his 25th home run of the year. Fast forward to the 9th, Smoke does it again, hits the game-winning homer for the Blue Jays, 26th home run of the year. Wow, 3 for 5 today, 2 homers in one night. The Blue Jays win 8-6. Big news in the NBA. It looks like there might be another superstar duo breakup. Point guard Kyrie Irving requesting a trade out of Cleveland. He says he's looking for a bigger role. Been with the Cavaliers since they drafted him in 2011, playing alongside close friend LeBron James, who informs the media that he is blindsided and disappointed. Sources say Irving wants to end up with the Spurs, but the Timberwolves, Heat, and Knicks are also in the mix. A quick parting shot for you. Charleston Batteries star Romario Williams strikes again, scoring the game-winning goal for Jamaica in the Gold Cup. They are now onto the semifinals this Sunday. And finally, take a look at this photo posted on Instagram the other day. A Polish cyclist snapped this photo after completing 16 of 21 stages in the Tour de France. Looks like leg day is every day for these guys. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Ever seen anything like it?
No, and it's actually a really neat photo to look at.
Yeah.
Speaking of something neat coming up, these recent graduates prove anything is possible, and why a man's best friend is going for a walk on the stage. It's not every day police stop by to give you some ice cream, but that's what these officers in Milwaukee just did. Officers partnered with Pick and Save in Kemps for their brand new ride. They say it's part of an initiative to bond with the community. They plan to make a visit to all 7 police districts in Milwaukee. The partnership is set to run through the summer. Oh, the places you'll go, or should I say the places you'll bark. The 11th annual Pet Partners Therapy Dog Graduation went underway this weekend in Mississippi. Dogs of all sizes were dressed up in caps and gowns, ready to receive their certificates. They're moving on to bigger and better things like nursing homes, libraries, and hospitals.
Not every dog has the personality to be a therapy dog.
2 dogs even received a Presidential Service Medal after logging more than 5,000 volunteer hours. And Dave, there was a big storm last night. Can you tell us what it's going to be looking like the next 5 days?
Don't walk your dog when it's storming outside. Just wait until that thunderstorm goes by. If it's like my dog, she puts on the brakes and won't even go out in the rain. So you don't have to worry about that. But we are going to see more rain chances over the next week or so. About a 60% chance for rain on Wednesday, a little drier Thursday and Friday, and we heat up. And then we're going to see more rain chances on Saturday. Looks a little drier Sunday and Monday. More rain chances next week. So rain not necessarily a bad thing. We certainly don't want to have a drought.
Yep, that's right. And that's all we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow for more breaking news. I'm Salina Madrid, and have a good night.